Hey. Okay, so the nominees for the Game Awards this year have been selected already earlier today. I'm sure y'all have already seen them, and some people have a lot to say about them, including me. So chances are you've seen this image right here, a screenshot going around. This was from the official Game Awards website. They had actually took this off the site. If you go there and look now, this is not there anymore. How convenient. But if you look, it says, are DLC expansion packs and remakes/remasters eligible? The Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format that the contents release. Yeah, that's a fucking lie. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories. Mind you, it says all categories if the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newness of content and its price as value should be taken into consideration. Now, before we even get on to the main topic, this right here, new game seasons, why? Okay, and it says all categories, which obviously also includes Game of the Year. Why would a season be included in Game of the Year? That's not even a game. That's just a part of the game. So already that makes no sense. But this whole thing caused a lot of uproar on Twitter, rightfully so, because this means that DLCs, expansion packs, and remakes/remasters are eligible for Game of the Year. And if you look at the Game of the Year nominations, oh, what do you know? Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree is right there. And a lot of people are mad about this, and I kinda am too. Allowing DLC to be nominated for Game of the Year is just kinda stupid in the first place, okay? I don't really... I mean, I think I know why they made this change, but at the same time, it's just kind of sad. Like, for the DLC to even exist, it has to be there based off of an already existing game. So, for example, again, Elden Ring was already nominated in 2022 for Game of the Year. I think it might have won also. But now it's basically getting nominated again because they changed the rules to include DLC just so they could have Elden Ring here again. That's what I feel like is happening, all right? I feel like Jeff just wants Elden Ring back so badly that they just changed the rules to be able to include DLC. And notice how this is the only DLC up here, and maybe this is biased, but where's Future Redeemed at? Future Redeemed isn't included anywhere in any of the categories. Nowhere is Future Redeemed included, not even in the own dedicated DLC section. There is literally a category for DLC exclusively. So first, Future Redeemed is missing from there. Second, why does DLC need to be eligible for Game of the Year if it already has its own dedicated category? That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, you know, also just kind of like a critique with the Game Awards in general. I know people have been saying this for a long time that, oh, the Game Awards are rigged, the Game Awards are rigged. But you know what? I might actually start believing that because, okay, old Jeffy boy over here, Mr. Geoff Kingsley, seems to just be scared of RPGs or really any Japanese games because I saw a meme going around how the Game Awards is just the Sony Awards, because that's really all it is. A bunch of Sony games get nominated and most of the time win. Like, you rarely see Nintendo games up here, especially this year. Off the top of my head, there aren't really anything notable except for what, like Tears of the Kingdom. Did that come out this year or was that last year? I don't remember. I think that was just this year. And if it was, I'm surprised Tears of the Kingdom is nowhere to be found. Like, Breath of the Wild was nominated for Game of the Year, but Tears is nowhere to be found. So that's kind of interesting. But it seems like they just are deathly afraid of RPGs, specifically JRPGs for some reason. So I'm kind of surprised to see Metaphor and Rebirth up here. But what I more wanted to talk about was how how shafted Stellar Blade got. Like, oh, come on, bro. And the reason why there's so many Sony games is because Sony was a big help in creating and funding the Game Awards. Like Jeff, he did pitch in some of his own money, but a lot of help came from Sony and a bunch of other like console manufacturers, but Sony was a big help. So of course, naturally, you gotta slob on Sony's knob in order to keep the Game Awards running. So you gotta just pad it out with a bunch of Sony titles and rig it so that a Sony title wins. And I saw a list of all of the judges for the Game Awards, which included IGN, by the way, so you already know that's going to go well. You already know how that's going to turn out if IGN is one of the big judges. That just shows you that just shows you how corrupt, I guess, the Game Awards actually are. But Stellar Blade got shafted for Game of the Year. It really did. Shadow of the Erdtree has no right to be there. Stellar Blade should have been there instead, but of course they had to change it to include DLC just so they can have Shadow of the Erdtree there and snub Stellar Blade. Fucking Black Myth Wukong got in there, but not Stellar Blade. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense considering Wukong and Stellar Blade are like similarly controversial. But Wukong got up there, no issue. But where's Stellar Blade? At least Stellar Blade did get nominated for Best Action Game and Best OST, which, holy shit, bro, the OST. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that the Stellar Blade soundtrack is one of the best I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, I'm not even joking. The Stellar Blade soundtrack is that immaculate. I think I might actually enjoy it more than most of the Xenoblade soundtrack. That seems kind of wild, but it actually might be true. I don't know. The Stellar Blade soundtrack is phenomenal. I already know it's going to get shafted and it's going to go to Rebirth because, of course, it is. But bro, if people just heard Stellar Blade's soundtrack, and I noticed a lot of people were shitting on Stellar Blade, and a lot of the tweets about the Game Awards, and whenever Stellar Blade was relevant in one of the tweets, people would be shitting on it. Like people just don't like Stellar Blade, and I'm not one to get all political or whatever. But the whole like left-leaning liberal thing, it might, kind of hold some weight because a lot of people unnecessarily hate on Stellar Blade just because Eve is a sexy protagonist. Just because we have an attractive main character, people are upset about that. And because, she showed a little too much skin, people are upset about that. I swear Western journalism is the absolute worst. It really is. It's just straight garbage and just politically charged. It's not this objective, unbiased like form of or source of information as it originally was and always should be. It's just some trash fucking political push like everything is nowadays. It's so garbage. So Western journalism is the worst. But Stellar Blade got shafted from Game of the Year probably solely because Eve was a little too revealing, showing a little too much skin, because people are so deathly afraid of anything sexual for some reason. It makes no sense to me at all. But Stellar Blade got shafted, Future Redeem got shafted. I don't know how that happened. For the DLC section, I don't remember what was nominated there, but I don't remember any of them, which is kind of telling. I don't know how Future Redeem didn't get in there. Even like unbiasedly speaking, Future Redeem was genuinely just an amazing DLC. There's a lot of people who didn't really like Xenoblade 3 but adored Future Redeem. That just goes to show how great it is on its own. It can stand alone, not really stand on its own in terms of story, but in terms of like a gameplay experience, it kind of just stands on its own. You don't really need Xenoblade 3 in order to, you kind of do, since there was no physical release, so you need Xenoblade 3 to play Future Deem, but you know what I'm saying, it kind of stands on its own as its own like little game. So even if you didn't enjoy Xenoblade 3, you could greatly enjoy Future Redeemed. And Future Redeemed wasn't nominated for anything. Now obviously art direction, I mean, I don't think it would get nominated for, like, yeah, I like the art style of Future Redeemed, but it's not anything insane. It's not really anything unique either. But OST, I don't know. I can kind of forgive it not getting nominated for OST, but at least like best, like action adventure, best RPG, or best DLC at least, okay, if not game of the year, because if DLC's up in there, then Future Redeem should have a shot. But at the very least, Future Redeem should be nominated for DLC, and it was nowhere to be found in any category. So I don't know why Jeff and the Game Awards just hate Japanese games and Nintendo by extension, since they're really like the only big huge like Japanese game developer, if you know what I'm saying. Like the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Nintendo's the only Japanese one there, pit against two American companies. So and given that Sony is like a major backer of the Game Awards, it would kind of make sense. And you know, given the rivalry between Sony and Nintendo, it's all just whack. The Game Awards are rigged, all right? This is all just the Sony Awards. I don't even know why I even bother watching it anymore, or really even talking about it. See, I don't think I'm even gonna watch the Game Awards this year. I might just see if Stellar Blade wins best action game or best OS like score and music. Other than that, there's nothing else I really cared for. I mean I saw what's it called, Echoes of Wisdom was nominated for a couple categories, like best family game and something else. I really don't remember. But all I really care about is Stellar Blade for these Game Awards. Oh, most anticipated game Prime 4 was up there, so that's cool to see. But of course GTA 6 is also up there for most anticipated game, so we already know what that's going to. So other than that, there's not really anything I care about in all of Game Awards except for Stellar Blade for 2 categories, which is rare because since I've been watching the Game Awards for like 2 or 3 years now, there's been like a bunch of stuff I've been looking forward to, but this time I don't really care now. I just want to see if Stellar Blade wins either of the 2 categories, and if not, then oh well. So I'll probably just look at the highlights, or just after the Game Awards I'll just see if Stellar Blade won one of the 2 categories, and if not, then oh well. I mean, I guess that's it. Guess we'll have to wait for Prime 4 next year, but I don't know. Prime 4, not Prime 4, Future Redeemed and Stellar Blade both got very shafted in these Game Awards, and that is no surprise at all. But yeah, that's really it. I just kind of wanted to rant about that. That's it. See you next mission to play some goddamn Xenoblade.